Whichever you clicked is great.
All right. So I'm Karen Lang, and I was in an Uber on the way to a midwifery conference when a father told me about his experiences becoming a father in the US. But first he told me about what it was like when his mother had babies back home. She was always surrounded by a community of women, and he believed that when his wife had all of the complications, the cesarean, the really life-threatening complications related to this, he really believed that she would have done better with that kind of community of support. So in the US, we do spend more money than any other country on healthcare, and yet our outcomes are the poorest of all developed nations. We're seeing 4 out of 5 maternal deaths are preventable, as are the complications that this father talked with me about. So he's not wrong. Care from our communities, within our communities, makes a huge difference. And doulas are an example of this. They are providers that provide emotional and physical support to families throughout the journey. And we are soon going to see that half of all pregnancies are covered by Medicaid for these services. Now, finding care, though, is a mess. One of the clients that we talked to in our listening session said that she was transacting and having conversations with the doula over Instagram with her private medical information. And indeed, the industry has been largely unregulated. Now, on the provider side, there are challenges as well. And there are care.coms, there are babysitting apps, but we don't have a good compliant system for what is largely gig workers to tap into a program that allows for medical records and is compliant. So if we're going to create if we're going to fill care gaps here and around the globe, we need a better infrastructure. And this is what I've created. Oconti has created a solution that allows for fragmented care workers to be aggregated so that anyone can find their best fit. And those providers who would be left out of that opportunity to access Medicaid payer dollars and other opportunities, there's a $175 billion care sector in home care and primary care. So this industry is doing some exciting things that will integrate home and community-based providers, but we need a way to support them and to make that infrastructure possible. My video is not working today, but I will tell you that the Oconti Care Finder, which we launched this year, is an all-in-one matching, scheduling, booking, and practice management solution. So someone can come to the Care Finder and maybe find a lactation consultant that works for this organization and a doula that works for this organization. And also we guide them on what they need to get the right resources at the right time. And they can communicate with each other. They can communicate with doctors, and they can book and schedule and see all of their care in one place. So our goal is really also focused on the workers. We want to see them get 30% more pay to save 50% in their unbillable time. And whether it's a community-funded doula program that gets grant funding, or a private organization or a collective, we've designed this so that everyone, including those independent contractors that are fragmented as well, can get what they need and can work and serve their communities. And this is where we stand apart, that we're really focusing on empowering these care workers because they're the future of care. They're innovators in their own communities, solving problems. And we need that when we think about end-of-life care as well. And doulas indeed have modified into death doulas to serve that gap as well. So we have a big vision, and our go-to-market strategy is in the Midwest. We have already some members here in Wisconsin and Illinois. Our revenue model is annual recurring revenue for membership and also commissions from care booked and billed on the platform. We had an exciting year, and we've launched our MVP, and also Dr. Sandra Dennis, who is a physician who works in population health and in managed care, has joined our team. And I know I'm running out of time.
You're fine. Keep going. You're doing great.
All right. So we're really thinking about how to support the providers throughout their life cycle. So when we talk about how we would use that $5,000, we've been building communities forever. I'm Karen Lang, and I have owned one of the largest and most established doula organizations. And I created this solution because I need it. But I also have really built a lot of community support for doula communities. And our go-to-market strategy is to have online events, offline events, and also outreach. And the $5,000 would be used for us to test what is the best way to reach people and how can we hear what their needs are. So thank you so much. I don't know why our faces are gone. I have a great team. Thank you.
We're all doing the best we can. All right. Next presenter is Susie Moon, talking about the Super User Index. Let me turn off the video. Okay. Are you ready?
Meet Susie. She is a banana bread making extraordinaire. She loves making banana bread. It's delicious. Well, she decided to leave her corporate job, her 9 to 5, and start her own business. So she does what every entrepreneur does. You listen to everybody. Oh, what are you going to use for your expenses? What are you going to track? Like, what's all the software that you can use? And what she decided, or what she ended happening, is that she was spending so much time working on all the things, learning these programs, trying to implement, building a website. She did not have time to make banana bread, which is so sad. So what she learned, and for an example, she started using Canva. Not good. This is a graphic that she created. And the banana bread did not bring the boys to the yard, okay? Just saying. Not a good situation. She needed to stay in her lane, and she needed help doing all the things, operating her business in all the software. And that is why the Super User Index was created. It is an online searchable directory filled with US-based tech-savvy people who can help small businesses stay in their zone of genius. It is unlike Fiverr, unlike Upwork, where you have to sift through thousands of international people to find somebody to work with, and then you have to pay a fee in order to work with them. So the Super User Index is, you can search by software, you can search by category, you can search by location, whatever helps you get to the right, oh, my slides in. Anyway, so the Super User Index benefits 3 different groups of small business owners. One, people like Susie up there, who just struggle with the software. They don't know how to use it. They just want to do what they love and what they went into business for. Then there's people like Megan, who super tech savvy. She's an independent contractor, a freelancer, a solopreneur. She loves doing the things behind the scenes and doesn't like sales and marketing. Doesn't even like networking. She's a little introvert. And then lastly, there's the sponsors. Susie Moon Consulting, for instance, is a business that can be a sponsor to get more exposure online, more real estate. And altogether, everyone is benefiting by being a part of it. We have 45 members in the directory right now, and they're smiling. They're having a great time. Awesome. There's even a doppelganger of Susie in there. The tech savvy people have 3 different ways to join and as a member. 3 different packages. Susie, on the other hand, can just go to the directory and search for whoever she's looking for without having to pay anything. She will have to enter her email address so that we prevent any scammers. Don't want people getting all crazy in there. And then we have a whole team. Now these people, they're smiling. We have a whole team ready to take this to the next level. And what we're predicting is that if we have 100 super users by the end of this year, we're projecting to take it to over 15,000 in 2026, and we will have 76,000 visitors coming to the site. And we're basing this off of a 15% growth month on month or month over month model. So we're having monthly networking events. We're going to meet one another. We are going to interact. We're going to refer one another. Someone good at Wix isn't good at WordPress, and they're going to refer one another. So it's going to be a community. We can build up to 100,000 members. So the capacity there is huge. And then we're also going to offer training on maybe Canva, so Susie can learn how to make some graphics for instead of trying to do it herself. And then we'd also like to have an in-person summit somewhere in Dane County to bring people in as soon as it grows. We're going to talk about the tech stuff. So we need your help, though. We, in order to take this to the next level, we would use the $5,000 to create the infrastructure. We would want to build SOPs. We would want to make sure that we're expanding this to as many small business owners as possible, and to expand the types of categories in the software. We could get into the real estate market. We could get into construction, healthcare. Like, the sky's the limit. Software is everywhere. We can't escape it. I'm Susie Moon, the owner of the Super User Index. I appreciate your time. Thank you.
There's your QR code. So
Yeah, grab
I'll
it.
take it. Thank you.
Yeah.
So the entrepreneurs had to send me all of their slides yesterday, and I sent them back video walkthroughs of me clicking through their slides and do they look okay? Do I need to change anything? WTF? I don't know what else to say.
Thank you. We know you work so hard. Good stuff.
All right, our third and final presenter for today is Della with MidMod Midwest. All right.
I don't want presenter mode, I want slideshow mode. Because
Yeah, presenter mode will just open the window on top of it.
Just make sure I have it. Yes, okay, great. Hi there, I'm Della Hansman. I'm an architect and the founder of MidMod Midwest. We help mid-century homeowners to plan tailored, timeless remodels to match mid-century homes to their modern lives. Our mission is to save every mid-century home in America from a mediocre remodel. Now, what's wrong with mediocre? It doesn't last. And homes that don't last end up in a landfill. I can't solve this problem, but I can save mid-century homes from the garbage truck. Why mid-century? Well, these houses are the answer to the last American housing crisis. In the years after World War II, developers like Cliff May on the West Coast and Levitt on the East raced across the country to build a nation of practical, modest homes. 15 million in 2 decades, and those houses still represent 15% of our housing stock today. This is how much of Madison, the yellow, is mid-century. This town doubled in size during those years. So these are still the most popular home type in 34 states, and they're popular for a reason. They're well built by craft and with materials we don't have access to anymore. The last of our old growth pine forests are in the 2x4s and siding of mid-century homes. They're also easy to modify. They were meant to be a minimum viable house that homeowners could develop over time. So all of these houses here blocked by the share screen started out looking like this one. And they're right-sized. They can start as a first home and end up as a perfect single-level age-in-place home. The dream home of 1950s can be the dream home of our generation and many to come, with a little tweaking to things like electrical, insulation, and layout systems. Here's the thing. Homeowners know best what will make a house into the right home for them and their family, but they also often are the least confident person involved in a remodel process. I don't want to point fingers, but the construction industry runs in ruts, and they continuously recommend HGTV trends that age like milk and a bigger is better mentality that benefits the industry rather than homeowners and homes. Women in particular, who manage a lot of home improvement projects, struggle to feel like leaders in their remodels. And they often struggle to have their questions answered and are repeatedly asked, when will your husband be home so I can give you a quote? I've heard this one. Now, most homes take place without design, but if you take on a remodel project without design, you will end up with remodelers' regret. You haven't asked the right questions. I know why most people don't use a designer or an architect. Architecture in America is wildly unaffordable, for the 1%. Now, I became a residential architect because I wanted in an idealistic dream to help people live better lives through their homes. And an architecture degree and a decade of working in this industry nearly beat that out of me, but I wanted to come up with a better way. So I helped a friend, then a neighbor, then more, to plan smaller, tailored remodels to make their homes last. I used a fixed fee model so people would know what they were going to get charged in advance, and I simplified every step of the process, asking, what do people need to know most to move forward? I turned that practice into a process, the master plan method, where we ask the right questions, we focus and give people options, and then we give them what they need to lead a remodel with confidence. In the pandemic, we had to figure out how to help our homeowners measure and document their own homes so we could do design work remotely. So the next time someone called from California asking who could help, I said I could. And now we've helped homeowners east and west, north and south, and all over the Midwest. In 2021, we launched the Ready to Remodel program, where I teach homeowners directly how to use our method to plan their own remodels. Now, this system was built to scale. We use video lessons, workbooks, and guides to walk people through the process, and I have a monthly architect office hours call where I answer all their questions about what's going on in their update process. In that year, we broke $100,000 in revenue. I had hired a small team. We have an operations manager, a design assistant, and another designer, and we have helped over 250 people to plan updates for their homes. Right now, our people find us through organic marketing, me being loud on the internet. We have a podcast, a blog, and we really work to get people to hear our message. With our current model, we can help a lot of people in a streamlined way. There is a cap on how much one-to-one design work we can do, but that's not true of a Ready to Remodel program, where we can really just keep helping everyone that comes to us. So what we need now is to find more people exactly where they are. We would use this grant to help us run targeting ads on Pinterest, Instagram, and Google, where we know people are already finding us, and help to increase our ability to help people get results like this one. This is the whole point, letting people know what they want, make the choices they need to, and stand firm when they're getting incorrect advice is the whole ballgame. So if you know someone here right now who's planning a mid-century update, send them our way. We'll help them plan a streamlined, simplified remodel to match their mid-century home to their life. Thank you.
All right. All of them hand me the mic and their hands.
I usually do this on Zoom.
Yeah.
Yes,
Notes.
it is a
We
different-
usually
yeah.
have some notes.
When I did my pitch practices with them, I said, stand while you're practicing, because it's different than sitting in front of your computer. And yeah. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a breakout room. And I'm going to put the 3 judges who are virtual in the breakout room, as well as that iPad. And so Julie and the judges can go out in the hallway. Wow. Julie can go talk at an iPad that will work. With the judges to deliberate who is going to award the grant. While Julie and her team are doing that, I'm going to then I will turn on, so people that are attending in Zoom can turn on their cameras and unmute themselves. And we're gonna have Q&A with the entrepreneurs to ask them questions.
questions that maybe you had while listening to them.
So. So. Okay,
Hang on, I'm gonna turn.
We're gonna switch it up again. Okay. All right. Jamie, can you unmute yourself? I just want to make sure we can hear you.
Yep, can you hear me?
Perfect. Let me pin you. Okay, so the judges are back, and I heard Jamie, you got the exciting job to do. So I'll turn it
Yes.
over to you.
Okay. So we very thoroughly discussed everybody's pitch, and I just wanted to say, first of all, just congratulations to everybody for even making it this far and for being brave enough to do something like this, because I have been in your shoes before, so I know how nerve-wracking it is, the prep time that it takes to put yourself out there and really share your business. And Doyenne helped really get me to the next level, so I'm just excited for all of you. A lot of you did very well on identifying all of these things that we're supposed to be judging on, but there was one that that stood out to us in particular, simply due to the scalability model and the fact that you happened to hit us in the heartstrings. And so we wanted to give the winner to Oconti. We felt that you had the most social impact business model. We see the need for what you're doing. We see the heartfelt mission that you have to change people's lives, and that we think that you can truly impact a really big number of people that are in need of your services. So congratulations to Oconti.
Did you want to say anything?
Oh, I have to say, this is very emotional. Doing this work, one of the things that I am trying to address is how isolating and exhausting it is to do care work. And I've been doing it for 26 years, actually 30 years, but I've had my company providing doula services for 26 years. And, you know, it's, as an entrepreneur, it's so easy to feel so isolated. And just in the last 24 hours, I've sort of tapped into this sense of, well, I'm building community. I need community. So I want to thank Doyenne for giving me also a dose of great community. And it, you know, when you do invest so much in solving such a pervasive problem, it's just so inspiring to know that people care about it too. So thank you. And thank you so much, everyone, for coming out today. And, yeah. And thank you.
Oh my God, I'm sorry. I feel like a failure on that. Okay. We're gonna close out the program. Hang on one second while I share my screen again. We already did that. We already did that. Okay, so just before we close out, you know, I talked at the beginning about some of the ways that Doyenne works with entrepreneurs. As you can see, it's really about how do we meet the entrepreneurs where they're at? How do we support them the best that they need at that time? And as we know, the entrepreneurial, it's a journey. There's a reason we call it the entrepreneurial journey. It's a roller coaster. It is dead end and gravel paths and whatever, you know, life throws at us along the way of trying to turn this metaphorical baby into, you know, a full-fledged adult or success, whatever that looks like. And so some of the programs that we offer are triple threat venture training and our investor accelerator. So our triple threat venture training, it's a 20-week accelerator program. And I know some people are like, oh my God, 20 weeks. Well, it's broken down. So it's only about 3 or 4 hours a week that you're actually working within the program. The program unfolds over the course of 4 different phases where we really focus on what is your role within the company? What are your skills and expertise? What are the skills and expertise that you maybe need to bring into your company? As you start building out in the second phase, that strategic plan. So what does the next 18 to 24 months look like? And how do we start setting up milestones and bringing in others to be able to support you along that journey so that when you get to, oh my God, I really do need QuickBooks, or oh my God, I really do need investors. How do we already have people in the pipeline set up to be able to support you going forward? The third phase is that's when they develop a pitch. So the people in the triple threat also develop a 5-minute pitch, but it's more of a business overview of how can the community get involved or engaged or be able to support them as they start moving forward. And then the last 8 weeks is an aftercare program. So they've done intense work during that 12 weeks. And just everyday life is intense work. The last 8 weeks of that program is really built out as how do we come together as a cohort, as a community, and support each other through the emotional growth and also the growth your company is starting to go through as you start working out that plan. Thanks to WEDC, Doyenne was awarded an Entrepreneur Partner Grant this year. So everyone who goes through the program this year, if they complete all aspects of the program, their program fee is waived, and they also receive a $2,500 unrestricted grant that they can use to be able to support them as they continue moving their company forward. So our spring cohort is actually wraps up next week. So they've been going since April. Our fall cohort launches mid-September. So the application is actually open until next Friday. Up to 8 people. Thanks for asking that. Up to 8 people get into each cohort, and they are held virtually. All the workshops are held virtually, and a lot of them are also held based on your availability. So when you're meeting with the facilitators, when you're meeting with your coach, except for there's a few, like when we're meeting as a full cohort, we pick a time that works for everybody to be able to make that happen. But it's really geared around how does it fit into all the other aspects of your life that are going on to be able to help move your company forward. I do have an info session next week. I believe it's on the website that you can sign up to if you want to learn more about that before applying. But the application again it does close next Friday before, then we'll go in and select who gets to be part of it. The other cohort program is our Investor Accelerator. I kind of talked about that at the beginning of today. So that's an 8-week program that's really about how do we introduce you to what does it mean to be an investor in startup companies, and also demystifies the like who qualifies to be an investor in startup companies. Again, that program meets virtually. It is also not a meet every week. We have a lot of supplemental webinars that you can watch on your own. And then we come back together as a full cohort every other week. We meet as a full cohort, and then in between there's workbook and webinars that you can watch and do work in to be able to get all the information that you need. We also have part of the program is we bring in investors from across Wisconsin to talk about how their funds are managed, how people can join their different funds, as well as what does it mean if you are an angel investor, how do you start doing this on your own? And we talk about all the way from how do you find companies, go through due diligence, sign the check, and then what happens afterwards. So that program also launches the end of September, and the application is open until 2 weeks from this Friday. I'm spacing on the date. Not next Friday, but the following Friday. And I do have an info session for that as well. And you can sign up to be part of the info session if you have additional questions. Doyenne, as I mentioned, is a 501c3 nonprofit. The majority of what we're able to do, and to be able to do it at the lowest cost possible for the entrepreneurs that we serve, comes through generous support from grants, donations, corporate contributions, and also individual giving. So, if you're able to, we would love it if you could go onto the website and make either a one-time donation or become a monthly donor to be able to make sure that we can continue to do the work that we're doing. We do support about 300 individuals per year through our programming, coaching sessions, mentoring sessions, and also working with the community to help support the overall entrepreneurial ecosystem across Wisconsin. And thank you for dealing with everything today.
Heather, I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Are you going to make available like the contact of the people who presented today? Okay.
Yeah, so everybody that's registered, you'll get an email probably later today. Either if you registered through Sketch or if you registered on the Doyenne website, you'll get an email with here's the contact information for our amazing presenters. Depending on what the video look like, we usually take the pitches and we'll make their own individual videos and we'll share them with everybody as well. But I want to make sure they look great. So we might schedule a separate Zoom to do that again.
Awesome. And then I just have a just quick comment to make for all the people that have attended this, like as last year's recipients, I just wanted to say like what a difference you make just simply by sitting in the audience and acting, and not acting, but I mean showing that you care for solopreneurs and entrepreneurs and startups who are just getting their feet wet in what it means to be a business owner and trying to make a difference in the world, like Doyenne, with just the $5,000. Like that really is not a ton of money, but to But for startups like myself and, the 3 people that present, it just makes a world of a difference just to have people in their corner, and people like Doyenne who are just constantly putting out support and positivity out into the world. I always say that you cannot receive unless you give, and that positivity comes and kindness and social good always comes back around. So I would just very highly encourage people to continue supporting Doyenne, because by doing that, you are supporting so many other people and creating social impact yourselves.
Thank you so much, Jamie. And it's true. I want to, once again, thank you all. As I mentioned, some of our presenters and judges weren't able to be here today. Shit is heavy right now. I don't know what's going on in the universe. I've had this conversation with Lisa and other people past few weeks. Please, please, please take care of yourselves, each other, and be gentle with yourselves and each other. I don't know why it's so heavy right now, but it seems like this summer has really hit hard for a lot of people. Thank you for continuing to show up. Thank you for doing all that you do. It does make the world of a difference. So thank you, and have a great rest of Forward Fest.